The bone of contention in the last few years has been the accurate representation of the youth in governance. The question remains, what hope does the average Nigerian youth have in governance? Good day, viewers at home. You're welcome to your favorite program, Voices on Universal TV. I am Oluwabumi Alade. With me is
Ajekule Eniola. Today we bring to you the digest of our topic, Voices, with a vivid label on the concern, involvement and the participation of the Nigerian youth in governance. How are you doing today, Bumi?
I'm fine.
You look good.
Thank you.
How was your weekend?
It was fine. Thank you. Thank you. Without wasting much of our time, here on my left is Mr. Alade Bolaji, who is a law student from the University of Ibadan and is going to be doing justice to various questions on that today. You're welcome to the program, Mr. Alade.
Thank you very much for having me.
Next to my left, we have Mr. Oyelade Olaolua. He's a human rights activist. He's also going to be doing justice to the question on the program. You are welcome, sir.
It's an honor to be here.
We are privileged to have you, sir. We can assure you that our guests are very much ready to give us spectacular discussion on the topic. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back after this
Time out. Welcome back to the program. Our topic is the Nigerian youth in government. Mr. Olaoluwa, the youngest minister of the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is 46 years old. The 46-year-old woman cannot fit into the category of a youth. Do you think the youth have a stake in the government if they are not made part of the decision making in this country?
Thank you very much. You see, the first thing we must understand is what is the Nigerian definition for the youth? According to a report in 2019, the Ministry of Youth and Development puts the age bracket of the Nigerian youth between ages 15 and 29. Now, the difference between 46 and 29 is quite wide. That's one. The youngest House of Assembly member in the current Fourth Republic is 25 years old, and that is the only one person who fits into the description of the Nigerian youth. If these people are not made part of decision making, how can they have a stake in government? Well, another set of school of thought will say the youth are already coming out. The Not Too Young Rule to Run bill is out, and then it's helping the youth have a stake in government. But the truth remains, the stake is quite limited and is getting suffocated by the day. So how do we continue like this?
So, sir, what advice do you give the government in putting the youth more in the government, in the decision making by the government?
This thing is a structural problem. Fix the structure and get your goals achieved. That's how it works. Now, if the Minister of Youth and Development is over 50 years old, how does he come to terms with what is ailing the Nigerian youth? That doesn't work out. So it's a structural problem. Fix the structure and get your goals achieved once and for all.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Olaoluwa. Mr. Alade, going by the Nigerian reality and considering the Not Too Young to Rule bill that was passed on the 31st of May 2018, how effective is the participation of the youth in governmental activities?
Thank you very much. When we want to evaluate how the Not Too Young to Rule bill, which is now an act in the Nigerian government, is now an act in Nigeria, has affected the participation of youth in governance, first we must start from the place of political consciousness. Ever since that bill has been passed into law, one thing has happened among the youth populace. Now they realize that the saying that the youth are the leaders of tomorrow can now be real. They now understand it's no longer a mirage, it's no longer something they have to get to the age of 60, 50 before they can pursue. So that's it. The political consciousness has increased. Also, there's a report by This Day Life in September 2020. Now they reported that there are 20 beneficiaries at present of the Not Too Young to Rule bill who are now a lawmaker in the various House of Assemblies across Nigeria. So to be fair, there's an improvement. Now we have about 20 in government. So there is improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Alade. The political parties have exorbitant prices for the purchase of their form. How visible is the Nigerian youth able to get this form? We talk more of contesting for election.
Well, election in Nigeria has been a battle of who has what and who can pay what. If a presidential form is stated for 40 million naira, how do you expect a youth between ages 15 and 29, as defined by the Ministry of Youth and Development, to get 40 million naira to purchase a farm? Not talking about the interest form he has to purchase before that. And then the poverty capital of the world, Nigeria, puts the limit of his campaign spending at 5 billion naira. I wonder how the Nigerian youth is supposed to get 5 billion naira. So if the Nigerian youth cannot get the form, how does the Nigerian youth participate in elections? This has remained one of the hindering factors that has made the youth lackadaisical towards political office.
So, sir, do you believe that the forms can be fixed and attainable to get?
Well, all fingers will not remain equal. Even if the form is given for free, not everybody will still get it. The question or the point remains that let the Nigerian political sector make the form accessible to all, and let there be processes whereby it is not about who has the money, but who has what to offer the country.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Odua. Mr. Alade, this question goes to you. The average Nigerian youth believes that this present generation that we failed woefully. But still, it is evident that governance has been a recycle of this particular generation. We should therefore ask, is it that this generation is not ready to relinquish power, or what is the reason?
Okay, first we must understand that when it comes to governance, it's not a battle of this age group against this age group. It would be first to say everyone in the older generation are incompetent. No.
Yes.
So let's first get that clear.
Yes.
The battle is not that, okay, we want to chase them away. However, to answer your question about relinquishing power, in Africa, it's hard to see a leader relinquish power. Talk about Cameroon. The president has been there since 1982, President Paul Biya. Talk about Uganda. The president has been in power since 1986. Talk about Chad, our neighbor here. The president has been in power since 1990. So when you're thinking of relinquishing power, it's not something that is likely to happen. African leaders hardly relinquish power. So now what can the youth do to come into power? Now, like my colleague rightly stated, Mr. Olaoluwa, that the structures in place make it difficult. The exorbitance fee makes it difficult. So what the youth can do is to start by first joining a political party. One thing I've realized and I've seen play out in Nigeria nowadays is there's a recognition for value. Even the political parties are beginning to look inward and look at, okay, this man has a value. This man has a good educational background. So when the youth join a political party, their chances will increase. Although they may not have all the money, they will end up being bankrolled or something. But then that's just a way to get into party. However, in that bankrolling, there's a need to be careful of going about it so you don't become a puppet to a godfather. But since the structure remains, that's the only option.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alade. Mr. Olaoluwa, using the NSAS protest as an example, what good and bad can the people's voice, especially the youth, bring to the nation?
Thank you very much for that question. Every democracy is supposed to run on the basis of 4 arms, 3 recognized arms and 1 unrecognized arm. The executive, the legislature, the judiciary, and the 4th arm, which the Nigerian government has refused to recognize is the people's voice, the public opinion. This is supposed to be the last resort for the average Nigerian. But in the present government, well, I don't want to tag the present government as operating a dictatorship democracy, whereby the people's voices have been strangled and refused to be heard. Now, for instance, the NSAS protest lasted for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then there was no official response to this. And when our president was going to address us, our president refused to address the main issue, the bone of contention. Rather than end SARS, we brought in SWAT. So the people's voice have been relegated in this present government. And that has made it difficult for the Nigerian democracy to thrive better than it should have tried.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olaoluwa. Mr. Alade, do you have anything to say on that?
Well, the voices of the people, it's what moves the democracy forward. Even the Constitution recognizes it, Section 39, freedom of expression. And I do not believe the voices of the people can bring any bad to any democracy. When you have inciting remarks, when you have words that threaten the peace of the nation, it's no longer the voices. In this context, I believe what I mean by voices is the people's opinion, their contribution to the development of the nation. So when we have other things that seem to distract or threaten the unity or the peace of the nation, then maybe you can call that on noises or something, but definitely not voices.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. The program still continues. We'll be right back.
You have the best plug for your phones? If not, have you heard of Merit Allmark International Limited, located at number 124 Olorisha Oko Street, Ikire Microfinance Bank, Osun State. Merit is the best phone dealer in Ikire. You can get all your phones like Oppo, Tecno, Itel, iPhones, Infinix, and lots more. They deliver nationwide. You can reach them on 080-6711-3056. You can also reach them on Instagram at Merit Allmark, on Facebook Merit Allmark. Our phones are affordable and cheap. Merit Allmark, extraordinary ways.
You're welcome back to the program. If you're just tuning in, we're still on the program, The Voices, and on the topic, the youth and the government. We still have our guests with us in the studio today, Mr. Alade and Mr. Olaoluwa. Mr. Alade, it is of general belief that public opinion, also known as people's voices, people's voice is an effective tool that informs the government about the wants of the citizenry. How effective is this in Nigeria of today?
Okay. I would say the people's voice presently is ineffective. And why is it so? Now, for we to have a voice which is effective, then the voice has to be united. The Nigerian citizens, or let me say, the Nigerian trajectory is that of division. Now, our voices are divided along ethnicity, religious, and political affiliation. So it is hard to have a voice. While a group is canvassing for, okay, let's do this, which will enable the progress and the development in the nation. There's another group saying, oh, you are only opposing it because it's not from your tribe. They are playing the ethnicity card, the religious card, the political card. Oh, no, when it was our party, you guys were not saying, you guys were not attacking impunity, you guys were not attacking corruption. We really need to have a single voice. We need to be patriotic. We have to first get this right. See, this Nigeria is all we've got. Then from there, we could now have an effective voice. When we are united, when we are not divided, then we can have a good voice. And another thing affecting the voices in Nigeria is, see, we all can shout, we all can say this is what is best for Nigeria. But these persons have advisors, they have their handlers, they are the ones that, they are the last voice they end even before they take action. And if anyone following the news realize that lately there's a special advisor to the president at some point when the Kankara boys were kidnapped, said, oh, it was only 10 boys. While we were saying, they had about 300. Now, see that kind of misinformation, see the last voice edge. You could only imagine how that could have affected the strategy. Now, it doesn't matter, maybe it's 10 or 300, every Nigerian life matters. But you could imagine how that could have affected the strategy. So, aside our public voice, these public officers ought to be careful. There should be no such thing as deliberate mischievousness, whereby there's some information to downplay whatever is going on. An apology cannot come and solve whatever delay that has been made. So, when those two things are done, we will have the voice that will be very effective.
Thank you so much, Mr. Alade. Mr. Olaoluwa, are protests or rallies the best way for citizens to bring out their voices?
Well, protests and rallies are very effective ways, but to me, they are not the best. There is the power called the power of the PVC, the Permanent Voters Card. The average Nigerian youth does not understand what powers he possesses by having the Permanent Voters Card. If you have the Permanent Voters Card, you can vote in who you think is best. And then there is another power called the power of accountability. Bring these people to book. Bring them to, let them give account. I can't remember the last time a public office holder was called to give account of what he has done in office, or when last a legislative member was recalled for a misappropriation of fund or any other thing. So if the Nigerian youth understand that, yes, although protests and rallies are good, there are two other powers they have. They have the power of the Permanent Voters Card and the power of accountability. Bring these people to record. Let them talk to us. We voted them into power. Let them come and give account of what they have done. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olaoluwa. On the final note, what is your advice for youths that have interest in governance?
The first advice for youth is competence. You see, if we end up saying, okay, we want youth in governance, and these people are not competent, then there's really no difference. Why we are against, or why there's so much voice saying, okay, let the older ones be replaced, is because we feel they are not doing enough. But if we replace an incompetent old man with an incompetent young man, then we still have a failed nation. So the thing is not an age discrimination matter. It's a competence matter. And why do youth usually come into play when we are thinking of competencies? We feel like they will have a better understanding of the present state. Now, it will be rare for you to have a youth say, okay, live video was photoshopped, that kind of thing. Yeah. because they understand what is happening. They understand how technology can drive the economy. But if you have an adult who also understands that, I see no reason why he or she should not be in governance. So the youth should be competent. Go and learn. Don't just think, okay, because I'm a youth and I have some fan base, I could come and govern, I could be a legislator because I have boys I take care of. No, that will not take Nigeria anyway. So the youth should be ready to only support a competent youth, not just a youth by age.
Okay, thank you. You see, what has killed the Nigerian society is, where is the Nigerian vision? We have the American vision, we have the British vision. Where is the Nigerian vision? Our government, we replace them every 4 years, and then everybody comes to run the show the way it feels it should be run. The Nigerian youth that wants to come into governance must understand that vision is paramount. You don't come to bamboozle us with some mediocre policies for 4 years and you expect us to keep repeating the cycle. No, have a vision. Let us have the Nigerian vision. And one strong characteristic of the youth is vision. But what average Nigerian youth has a vision today? Are we really ready to come into governance? Or we are just clamoring for change, like we did in 2015 and we have ended here?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much for. We are very grateful for having you on this program.
Thank you for having me.
It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, sir.
It has been a great time having you here. Thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you for coming to the program. We have been enlightened, and I'm very sure our audiences have been too. Thanks to our production crew, the director, the producer, and also special thanks goes to our executive producer, Mr. V.O. Adetemi.
Thanks for watching today's program on Voices. We really hope you enjoyed it. If so, like and comment on this page. Also subscribe. I remain your co-host, Achekule Mila.
And I remain your host, Oluwabumi Alabi, saying goodbye.
Mm.